Magnificent. I hope this letter finds you busy with work. What a peaceful and tidy place your tower must be compared to this explosion of pizza boxes and ice cream tubs that has become my cottage. I felt obliged, as your friend, to let you know before you hear any of the rumors linking you to evil doings and pranks. As I previously mentioned, I've been keeping my eye on this blonde slip of a girl who's been living in dismal conditions in her stepmother's house. I've been keeping an eye on her because, well, I might like to drum up some business. One morning, the mice in the kitchen, they helpfully told me that her stepmother had forbidden her from attending the ball. It was a ball that was going to be given for all the noble ladies of the land. I grabbed my chance, knowing that there is so much to be said for making a grand entrance. Her mouth gaping open and that single tear streaming down her cheek told me I had succeeded. In time-honored fashion, I promised her that she would be allowed to go to that ball, provided that she leave before midnight. Now, dearest Mally, my heart did this little somersault when she nodded, and I gave her a list of items that she had to have ready for us for that night. The stepmother and her hideous daughters had left hours before I even showed up. Well, the handbook does say that the belle of the ball has to be fashionably late. It's just a rule. I didn't mind that they were gone. It gave me time and room to do my job. You know, I do have to think of repeat business. Such was the plan, anyway. I am a great fairy godmother. Awesome. Been doing it for years. I have a reputation to uphold and reams of references from other down-and-out girls whom I've helpfully turned into princesses. I've even helped them stave off sleeping sickness and dragons and, oh, evil queens. Took care of all of that, so I honestly don't know why. That night, nothing worked. Of course, everything is hunky-dory now that the Fairy Council has stepped in and they've banned me from using magic for business. First, the pumpkin. Normally this turns into this beautiful white carriage complete with muted golden wheels and this elaborate dainty lace over the windows. So pretty. But I'll tell you, that night it was the strangest feeling. A bit like, that incident in '83. Do you remember when that dry rot got into that batch of broomsticks at the schoolyard? Well, here's the lesson you learned. Fire, wood, and children in flight. No bueno. Bruised and crying children, not good. Only this time, it was the wand itself. Fizzling, whimpering, and just sort of spluttering about. So one spark of light flew out, hit the pumpkin, and it turned it into a marrow. A hideous marrow. What can you do with this marrow? It's just this vegetable that, once it's had some magic done to it, you can only throw it into the blandest of soups. The girl, bless her heart, she managed a huge smile when I turned to look at her. Onwards and upwards, I thought. A spare carriage, not a problem. I should be able to find that, right? The mice were standing up, as if eagerly awaiting human transformation, and the wand, well, it felt less sickly this time. There was some good magic to it. It was coughing less, and there was less spluttering about. But the results, something was wrong. I mean, one of the footmen, he turned out magnificent. Ashen blonde hair. Oh, let me tell you, standing completely erect in his blue uniform. But the other one? What is that? I mean, it was this monstrosity of halves. Top half, oh, beautiful. Bottom half, oh my God, it's furry and it's twitching at me. Off to the shelter. Her smile had faded, replaced by a biting lip and this panicked look on her face, and, well, I gave her my most confident smile, reached back into my bag, and I got a backup wand. My hand was trembling a little bit, so I hope she didn't see that, but on the basis of this sort of 50% success rate with the mice men thing, I figured with this backup wand, I could get at least 100%. Then all we would need to do is find a new carriage, find one more mouse, and then I could send off Blondie to the ball, meet her prince. You know the rest of that story. This sounds simple, doesn't it? Especially with such an easy trick as turning one of these four-limbed beasts into something useful. However, there were lizards involved, and the lizards were a lot less cooperative than the mice. Let me tell you, the wand, this backup wand, it felt fine in my hand. There was nothing wrong with it. It had a nice weight and a half, but as I twirled it around for that final cast, it splintered. The whole thing cracked into fragments, the largest of which flung itself against the girl's forehead, and it knocked her completely unconscious. In retrospect, her unconsciousness was probably a good thing for me. It saved me from losing face when I had to make that embarrassing phone call. Maleficent, you must be the only one of us who has never had to call the FAA for a towaway or some magical assistance. Inevitably, you always spot at least one of those fairy godmothers sniggering as she sets your spell right. Well, that night, boy was I in luck. 5 of them showed up. 5! I beat Mercy's record. Not a good thing. Well, the short and long of it is that the girl got to the ball, albeit beyond fashionably late, and, well, the prince had already picked another belle. They failed. It was my first failure. Now, it turns out Blondie over there, the undernourished one, she's not as airheaded as she might look. Oh no. She's suing me for malpractice. I am currently banned from doing any sort of magic for business purposes. I mean, what am I to do? I'm getting bored here, you know? There is only so much tea I can make and so many pizzas I can conjure up out of thin air. Besides, those mice, those kitchen mice, useless. They refuse to help me tidy up. Mally, you've been such a good friend to me. So I'm writing to you to ask if you might have any thoughts about what I should do now. Your loyal friend, Flora. Oh, Maleficent! She sniggered to herself as she reread that letter a second time. Passiflora, oh, how she hated nicknames, had always been the naive one. Maleficent had been going stir-crazy anyway. She just had that crow and that dragon to keep her company. With her powers still greater than anyone else's on the Fairy Council, nothing had posed much of a challenge lately. Not even that Sleeping Beauty affair. 3 showed up, took care of them. Passiflora's excitement over her new client had made sabotaging her spells an irresistible prank. Maleficent supposed she ought to reply to the poor sap. Maybe make some friendly gestures, I don't know. Maybe become an ally in her eyes. Yes, that would be the next challenge. Maleficent grinned darkly. Droves of do-gooder fairies practically skipped out of the college every year. They should thank her for providing them with all these opportunities to save